Hey guys, I'm back. This is video number 2. This is telling you a little bit about myself. I wrote down some little cheat sheet notes of things as they popped into my head, things that I might want to tell you, talk about, whatever. And so if you'll watch the video before this, you'll know what I said at the beginning. And like I said, this is number 2. Okay, so the next thing on my little list was barefoot inside or not. No, I do not go barefoot in my house. I wear slippers. I like to wear slippers. So, I do that. All right, accidents I almost had or was almost involved in or whatever. My son and I went, good grief, where'd that come from? My mom took my brother and I, when we were little, to this lake that had all these slides in it and swimming area and all kinds of stuff. And so we were going up to one of the dive towers. We were climbing up. And my brother, I don't remember if he was still in the water or not. I think he might have been further up the ladder. But anyway, there was some dingbat working on something up on the tower. And so he dropped some kind of heavy metal tool. I'm not sure now what it was, but it was big and it was heavy. And he dropped it from up there down the ladder. And that thing missed my head by just a few inches. And I heard it as it was falling, and I looked up and saw it. And so it fell between me and the ladder and almost hit me in the head. And I'm pretty sure from the distance that it fell and as heavy and big as the thing was, it probably would have killed me. But anyway, that's one of the things. And the other thing was my grandmother's husband, my step-grandpa, he had a car that he was trying to sell, and it was some kind of fancy sports car, and he let me drive it a little bit. And so I had taken it out, and I was mad about something that day, and so I was speeding in the country, and going way too fast. It was just stupid. And I came to this intersection, and I didn't know that there was a stop sign there. I thought there wasn't a stop sign, but there was a stop sign. So I tried to stop. Okay, well, there was no stopping that thing. There is no way. I slammed on the brakes, but there was no stopping it. I was going too fast. I went through the intersection, and I kind of spun like that sideways through on the other side, and it scared me half to death. I dropped my speed way down the whole rest of the time. Took that car back and never drove it again. And I just thank God that I wasn't killed and that there wasn't a car coming this way or a big semi-truck or anything like that. It scared me half to death. So that's a couple of the accidents. An accident that I did have, I was driving my brother's, riding on my brother's motorbike when I was a kid, and I had a wreck. I popped at least 2 wheelies that I did not intend to pop. And so I popped at least 2 I didn't intend to pop, and I kind of fell off the back of it, still holding the handlebars. And I let go, and it kind of went on down the road, and I hit the ground. So I got cut up and got road rash, and oh gosh, I hurt my my palm, my elbow, my right palm, my left elbow, my right knee, and I think that was it. And so I had my left elbow sewn up in the ER, and you can't even, I don't think you can even see it anymore, the scar, but I had that sewn up. And my hand, you can probably see part of the scar here. It used to go all the way across here, but over the years it has um, moved down to it's just this little bit, which you can see. That's where I had massive did I say road rage before? Road rash. And it went way across my palm, and oh, that just burned so bad. That was awful. And then I had the spot on my knee, and they asked if I wanted it sewn up. It didn't really need a lot of stitches. And by that point, I said no, because they had already done so many things. I didn't want anything else done. And so I said, nah, we'll leave that. So I had this sewn up. This they couldn't sew up. There was no skin there. And so they just cleaned it out, which hurt horribly because they injected it with something to numb it. But the only problem is it didn't go all the way over to the whole thing. And so when they would scrub it, trying to get the gravel out, and they get to that section, it was like, and, you know, I could have told them and had it injected again. And I think they might have asked me because they could tell that it was hurting. And I just said no because I didn't want to be stuck with any more shots. I'd already gotten enough. I didn't want to have any more. So I said, nah, never mind. But that hurt. It hurt a lot. And I'm lucky, you know, I didn't fall on my face, cut my face up or whatever. My favorite crafts. My favorite is paper crafting. I love paper. I love all kinds of paper. I love making things with paper. You know, I like junk journaling. I like making ATCs. I like pocket letters. I like just all kinds of paper things. I love paper. And other crafts I like, let's see. Oh, how could I forget? Diamond painting. Yes, I love diamond painting. I've gotten obsessed with that. Love it, love it, love it. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that right now. Okay, some of my favorite moments. Well, every time I went to England was a favorite moment, or Ireland, or Scotland, or Wales. Every time, you know, we took the kids on a trip, all the places we took them. I don't know, there's tons of those, but I will point out one really favorite. And that was when I went skiing with my husband, and he went back to the lodge because he hurt his knee, and I did some night skiing alone, and I was like on a back run, and when I was going up on the chairlift, it was so cold and dark, and the wind was blowing, and I think I saw a couple, and then they went down, and by the time I got to the top, they were long gone. So I had the whole run to myself down the mountain, and it was just the most incredible, most beautiful moments of my life. The way it looked out there, the way it felt like they're out there, the way the air smelled, and the way it was just skiing and hearing nothing except a little slight wind blowing and the swish of my skis as I went back and forth, you know. And I made it real leisurely and just kind of made, you know, back and forth through a lot of it. And that is one of my favorite moments in my whole life. I looked up. I stopped at one point and looked up, and couldn't see a single soul. Looked down, couldn't see a single soul. It's like I was the only person on earth, and I was skiing this fantastic mountain, and it was just perfect. That was a perfect moment. So, okay. So sports I've done and really liked, obviously skiing. That is my all-time favorite. I absolutely adore it. Adore it. Um, I love racquetball. I haven't played in a long time. Um, I used to love playing golf. I learned how to do that in college, and I learned how to play racquetball in college as well, and softball. I used to play softball when I was a kid, and I was a catcher. So that's the sports I particularly liked. I liked skiing, racquetball, um, softball, and golf. Okay, how long is this? All right. Uh, my favorite car that I've ever owned, that is a Mazda Miata, and that is what I still own. Absolutely adore that car. Okay. I couldn't wait to get one. I bought that myself when I was a nurse, and it's fully loaded, and I just love it. Okay. Movie I'll never watch again. Okay, there are two. I would never watch Braveheart again. Definitely not. That movie just tore me up too bad. It was awful, awful, awful. What happened to William Wallace? I couldn't hardly stand it. I will never ever watch that. You couldn't pay me. And the other one is The Passion of the Christ. No, that that was just horrifying. um, when I saw that in the movie theater, I remember one part where Jesus was struck with the cat o' nine tails, and a lady just screamed out loud in the theater, and there were so many people weeping, and it was just, it was horrible. So no, I would never watch that again. uh One of my husband's favorite things about me, um he said that he's bored when I'm not here. So he's not bored as long as I am around, even though I know I drive him nuts sometimes because well, I make up little songs about everybody, even the dogs, etc., and stuff like that. But he said he is very bored without me. So it's nice to know that I keep somebody from being bored. I keep things lively around here sometimes. Oh boy. Okay. What makes me cry? What makes me cry is those ads that, well, commercials that come on TV or Facebook or whatever, that have the poor dogs that are being eaten or tortured or whatever. I can't stand those. I don't like to see any type of video or ad or commercial that shows a dog getting hurt or killed, or any kind of animal being killed. And even those like where a lion kills some other animal to eat it, I don't like seeing that, because I mean, I know they have to do that to survive, but I don't want to see it. It make me cry if I watch it most of the time. So um and what else makes me cry is if one of my family members is sick or hurt. Okay, my favorite book. My favorite book is Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. It has been my favorite book since I was in high school. I have a softback copy of it and a hardback copy of it. I actually have all of J.D. Salinger's books. So I guess you call him my favorite author, although he's dead now. Types of books I like. I like romance. Very into romance. I am a romantic, I think. And I like romance. I like time travel romance. I don't mean like future, well, I don't like futuristic type ones, sci-fi things. I like where one of the characters travel, usually the woman travels back in time to like medieval days or whatever. I really like that type of thing. And I like mysteries and crime. uh, well, the mystery kind of end with a crime. um, I like those. And how many places my husband and I have lived in together? um, let's see, 5. And 2 of those were houses that we had, that we owned. um, our first home our first home was a historic house, um, that was built in, gosh, I forgot, like before 1900, I think. And it was 2-story. It was a pretty cool house. I liked it a lot, but the utilities were worse than the rent. We rented it. This was when we first married, and there was like no insulation, so that's why it was so expensive, the utilities. And um, I could sit in the dining room, sit at the table, and look down and see the ground underneath the house because there were gaps. So when they restored that house, they didn't put in insulation or enough insulation, and they obviously had an issue with that floor in the dining room since I could see the ground. Um, and needless to say, since it was like that, things began to come into the house that didn't belong in there. Um, and I knew one night when I walked through the house, and every light that I turned on, when I turned the light on, things scurried, that it was time to get out of there. Yeah. Couldn't deal with the holes in the house. Okay. Plus, it was so cold in there all the time, I could not stand that. How my husband and I met. Um, he was a teacher at the high school I taught at. The high school I went to, and I was in his ecology class and his study hall, and I saw him before I got into class, the ecology class. And the reason I got into the ecology class is because I found out that he taught it. So, yeah, that's how we met. Although I don't want you guys thinking there was any kind of hanky panky going on when I was in high school, because there was nothing like that. He thought of me as a child. He's 8 years older than I am. We met up again when I was in college, and wrote back and forth and stuff, and went out on a date or two. And I didn't want to have any kind of serious relationship. I was still very young, and so that didn't work out. And then a few years later, I was, well, a little while later, my best friend and I met up in my hometown, and we happened to run into him in a Pizza Hut. So the waitress sat us next to him, and of course, we started talking. He was with a teacher. We also knew another teacher, and so we started talking. And one thing to led to another, and here we are, married with 3 kids. Okay. Do I like to exercise? Not fun. I don't know why people think it's fun. They're lying. It is not fun. I mean, yeah. I exercise. I have exercised. I don't exercise enough, but do I like it? No, I hate it. Never been fun. Okay, this one's weird. Raisins or not? Definitely not. Raisins to me are what I would think it would be like if you bit into a bug. That's what raisins are like to me. I don't eat raisins. If they're in something, I pick them out. Yak. Okay, orange marmalade. Love it, love it, love it. Hated it when I was very small. I remember the first time I tried it, my grandma gave me some, and it must have been really strong or whatever. And I did not like it, even though I was Florida baby. Um, but I absolutely love orange marmalade now. Okay. My favorite games on my phone that I play. I love Heyday. That is one that I play almost every day. Heyday. Um, I like Zombie Castaways. Or Castaway. I like Gallery, which is like a coloring game. Um, I like Mahjong. And I like The Walking Dead. And actually, I have too many to name, but those are, I'd say, my favorite ones. And I do play a lot, too much. And I usually play every night. My phobias. I am deathly afraid, no pun intended, of spiders. I would do anything to avoid a spider. And everyone I see that I can get to, it's going to be a dead spider. Yeah. I don't like them. Never have liked them. They freak me out. Just the thought of them gives me the heebie-jeebies. No, I can't deal with a spider. I'd rather deal with a snake than a spider. Although I don't like snakes, they freak me out too. Spider, ugh, they can just get in too many places and hide, and next thing you know, one's on your shoulder or what. Oh no. Okay, so spiders. And heights. I don't like heights. Don't like them. Um, what else? Phobia. Mm, what's another one I had thought of? Um, I don't know. Spiders. We'll say spiders. Any broken bones. I'm pretty sure that I probably broke my left big toe when I was a kid. I was out playing with friends and we were running and the grass was wet with dew and I slipped and fell. My toe went under me like that. My whole weight went on it and it hurt. Oh gosh, it hurt. And it was bruised and swollen, and I think I probably broke it, but I didn't never do anything about it. I've had multiple broken bones in my feet. Well, stress fractures. I got those. There was like a whole string of them when I was a nurse. I don't know why, but I had multiples. I had a broken nose once, and that was from my oldest son. He was sleeping in the bed with us, and he turned around backwards. He was about 3, I think. He turned around backwards, so his feet were up at our heads. And all of a sudden during the night, he just put his leg up like that, and he just went wham back down. And his heel hit me on the nose, just like that. Oh, talk about a rude awakening. Oh my. It hurt so bad, but you know the weird thing is it didn't even bleed. It just hurt, and I just cried and cried and cried, and it gave me 2 black eyes. Okay, and the last one, the most recent break was I broke my right leg when I was backpacking in the mountains, and that was a nightmare because we were backpacking in, and on the way in it was dark. We were late leaving to get there. My middle son he had a little job in high school, and he was late getting off work, and so we left late and tried to hike in, which was a big mistake because some dingbat had cut a tree off, probably the game warden, I don't know, in the middle of the path. But they didn't cut it flush with the ground. It was probably several inches off the ground. My husband, my youngest son had already gone past. Nobody tripped over it. My middle son and I were quite a ways back behind them because we heard something. And we kind of stopped and we're looking up, to see if we could see what it was. We thought that it was a bear, and it scared us, so we kind of sped up. I didn't have my flashlight out because he had his out. It was a full moon, but so we only had the one flashlight, and I was in the front. He was behind me. I tripped over that stump. I tripped over it. I had a pack on my back. It weighed probably about as much as me. And so when I tripped, I hit it, and then my foot slid across it, even in my hiking boots, and came down like this on the other side. And so the momentum of my own body, the pack on my back, plus my son falling over me because we were trying to get out of there from that noise, all of that weight and all went on my leg, and so it broke my right leg. And so we weren't really far from where we were going to camp for the night, so I had to walk the rest of the way there. And I sat down on a rock, and my husband built the fire because I really needed light and fire. We all did. It was. And so he built a fire. I just sat there, and he put the tent up, and all I did was I crawled and got in the tent and had probably the most miserable night in my entire life because I had nothing that I could do with my leg. I was stuck there. Couldn't get to a game warden, couldn't call a game warden. There's no signal there. He wouldn't have been able to drive up there and get me. There's no way to drive there. So I had to lay in that tent all night long with that broken leg. And I didn't have anything for pain except a couple of Tylenol. So, yeah, that was miserable. And the next day, I had the most miserable day of my life because I had to walk down the mountain on a broken leg. Not fun. I wouldn't want to repeat it. And the only way I survived that is I did a lot of praying along the way, and it was just sheer willpower. I knew I had to do it, so there was no other choice. My husband told me to get up on his back, jump on his back, and he would carry me. But since we weigh about the same, I did not want to do that. I didn't want to hurt his back, and he couldn't have carried me down. So I had to walk. It was not fun. Okay, fear flying. Yes, I am scared to fly. I don't think I'm terrified. I have been at certain points, like when there was horrible turbulence, and when I flew in a snowstorm and it was beating down on the plane, and I thought it wouldn't make it all the way up. But I've flown a lot. I don't even know how many times, but I still kind of fear it. I always pray. But there's always that little niggling fear about it. I don't really want to drop out of the sky. Of course, I know the falling wouldn't hurt. It's just that sudden splat at the end that would be bad. And, of course, I think I'd have a heart attack on the way down anyway. So, okay. If I was stranded on a desert island, what 3 things would I take? Can I take Ray Fiennes? If I could take him, I'd take him. Okay, let's see. What would I take? Well, let's take people out of the equation. I would take a pot to cook in and gather water. I would take a machete, and I would take some fishing tackle. Ooh. We need sunscreen and medicine, though, for headaches and stuff. But you gotta eat. I'd still take those 3 things. A pot, a machete, and fishing tackle. Of course, the fire thing would be a problem, unless you could get a spark. I could get a spark, but it'd be really hard to get a fire. I think I could probably eventually do it, but it may take quite some time. But that's what I'd take. Anyway. Do I like texting or calling more? Definitely calling. Texting, to me, that just takes too long. And if you miss the letter, you got to delete that, put the right one, and autocorrect pops up, and that irritates me. And I just rather call somebody and talk, not have to do all this. Okay, would I jump off a bridge into the ocean for one of my kids? Yes, I would, even though, oh, that was the other phobia, sharks. I'm terrified of sharks. Um, yes, I would. I'd jump. I wouldn't want to, but I would jump because I'd be afraid that they couldn't make it unless I was down there helping them. But if I got there trying to help them, we'd probably both drown or get eaten by a great white or something. Yes, but I would jump for one of them, or my mom and dad, my mom and dad, or my husband. I'd jump for one of them. Okay, coolest places I've been. I kind of went through that, but I'd say overseas, I'd say California when we went with our friends, New York City, um, um, I had a good time in Chicago. Oh, New Orleans, Mardi Gras. Yeah, that's some of the coolest places I've been. How many states have I been to? I was trying to count up, and I was thinking I had been to 25, but I believe it's only 23, I believe. And I've been to 4 countries. What countries would I like to go to? I'd like to go to, well, obviously my favorite and the ones surrounding. I'd like to go to France. I'd like to go to Italy, Spain, and I'd also like to go to uh, New Zealand, and I'd like to go to Australia too. That would be cool. That's a continent, but yeah, I'd like to go there. Do I like rhymes? Yes, I do like rhymes. I have a thing about rhymes. I love rhymes. And sometimes I'll make them up and drive my husband crazy. Well, or if I hear a rhyme, I'll say, oh, that was cool. There goes a rhyme. Or hers. Or whatever. There's a commercial that's on currently where the person rhymes, though. It's kind of irritating. I'm tired of hearing that because they play it every day. But yeah, I like rhymes. It's probably why I liked Dr. Seuss so much when I was a kid, or maybe that's what caused it. Maybe it's a defect in me liking rhyming. But yeah, I like to rhyme. I like rhymes. And one of my favorites when I'd read Dr. Seuss to my kids, let me see if I can remember. It was, you never yet met a pet, I'll bet, as wet as they let this wet pet get. You never met a pet, I'll bet, as wet as they let this wet pet get. That. Cool rhyme. That was great. Okay, pets I've had. I've had dogs. I've had parakeets. I've had zebra finches. I've had goldfish, of course. I had a hedgehog. We had a pink cockatoo. Turtles. I think that's it. My next trip. I am planning on making Washington, D.C. my next trip. Yeah. I'll tell you more about that later. Makeup, usually. In my real life, I don't wear a whole ton of makeup. If I have a doctor's appointment or something, I usually put it on. Sometimes I put it on just because I just want to wear it. Or if I go to church or whatever, I'll wear it. Most days I do not. If I go out, I'll wear, a lot of times I'll just wear lipstick, cover up some face powder, whatever. I wear more for this channel than I've ever worn in my life. I wore it more times, probably for this channel, than I ever have. Okay, we're getting near the end. My favorite flowers. I like sunflowers and daffodils and tiger lilies. Well, actually, all lilies, lily of the valley, everything. Um, Favorite card game. I like rummy and I like spades. Am I close to my parents? Yes, but more so my mother. Um, I spend more time with her anyway. Do I sew, knit, or crochet? I don't sew. I can do a little bit, not much. I don't know how to crochet, although one of my grandmothers taught me how to do like a straight line, thing when I was real little. I don't know how to do it anymore. I do know how to knit, and I have knitted a lot of things, including a kilt, a knitted kilt for myself. Do I play an instrument, or have I ever played an instrument? I used to play the flute and the piccolo, and I was in concert band and marching band. Do I believe in UFOs? Yes, I do. I think the truth is out there. I like Fox Mulder. Yes, the truth is out there. I do honestly believe in them. I just think there's something else out there. And a lot of them seem to be popping up. Ghosts. Yes, I do believe in ghosts. I've had a lot of things happen that they had to be ghosts. I don't know if I've told y'all about those on my channel before. I may tell y'all about that at some other point. But I've had several things happen. I've never seen anything, but I have heard things, and people in my family have, and yeah, so I do believe in ghosts. Some people would call them just bad spirits. I'm not sure what they are. Maybe they are, but I don't know that I believe all of them are up to no good. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Okay, and my last thing, because this is 37 minutes, my last thing is, what are we going to have for dinner today? Okay, I am going in the kitchen, and I am going to take some pre-made tortellini and some pre-made Alfredo sauce, and that's in this, I don't even remember what kind it is. It's in like this plastic thing. But it is so, so good. It tastes like homemade. And we're going to have that. And we might have salad with that. And something very simple here on a Sunday evening. Because, oh my goodness, it's 5:30. So, that is my 5 pages. Which took quite some time. Took 2 long videos. And I hope you guys will enjoy listening to them. If you think of anything you would like to know, you can put it in the comments, and I may or may not answer it. Depends on if it's something I feel safe answering. So I'm not going to tell you where I live. I'm not even going to tell you what state I live in, but you can ask me something else. How about that? So, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share, leave a comment, hit notifications so you'll know when I have another video, and I hope you really enjoyed this one because I had a great time making it. So, take care, guys. Have a great evening, and bye.